Hi, I'm Andy Hill, and welcome to another edition of Striving to be the Best. Today we're focusing on Franklin Elementary School, and our guest is Miss Sunaina Kelly, principal.
Hi.
Sunaina, how are you today?
I am good. It's a little cold, but I'm good. How are you?
It is cold. I'm good too, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. So I want to maybe start, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how many years you've been part of our administrative team here in Wadsworth?
So I have been a part of the Wadsworth administrative team for this is my 4th year. But previously, before that, I was also a first grade teacher at Isham Elementary and Overlook Elementary right here in Wadsworth. So I got to see both sides of our amazing school community. I am from Buffalo, New York, so go Bills. And moved here. I have a husband and a 3-year-old son. We live in Medina. But I went to Baldwin Wallace. I got my undergraduate degree in elementary education, my master's in administration. I had no idea I wanted to be a principal. It wasn't until other people told me while I was teaching, hey, maybe this is a good idea. So I took a first class here or there, and I was like, okay, I kind of like this. And here I am. So I didn't know this is what I wanted to do. So it's kind of been an exciting journey. And yeah, anything else?
No, that's good. Well, it was good advice for you. You do a great job with what you do at Franklin for us. We're glad to have you part of our team. You've been a great addition here. So maybe talking a little bit about Franklin, all of our schools, while we're one big district and one big school community, all of our schools have their unique things. So maybe talk to us a little bit, what are you proud of about Franklin?
I think that what I'm most proud of is the community and the culture we've created at Franklin. I can say that every single staff member makes sure that every single kid feels loved and valued. And I know that happens in every building in our district, but there's something special where everybody knows everybody's name. All the staff know all the kids' names. And I feel like the kids feel that too. And I feel like they are always working through obstacles and persevering through challenges. And it's just a culture we've created where I think everybody in the building knows mistakes are okay. Everyone in the building knows that they're supposed to and are allowed to take risks. And it's just a welcoming culture where, and I'll talk about this in a little bit when I talk about STEM, but just a culture of just innovation and inquiry and just asking questions and finding answers. So I feel like you can feel that when you walk into the building. So I'm just proud of the staff and students, really, the most.
Very good. So Franklin has been designated by the Department of Education and Workforce as a STEM school. So can you talk a little bit about what that means and then what do you have to do to continue to keep that designation?
Okay, so it is something we're really proud of. We're the only STEM school in all of Medina County, and we're just one of a handful of schools in the entire state that's a kindergarten through 4th grade building. So you don't see many STEM schools that have K-1-2. As part of their STEM program. We were originally designated in 2019. We are up for redesignation right now, actually. We have about a year to, what we have to do is collect evidence since 2019. So we're collecting evidence throughout the years. But what it means really is that we integrate science, technology, engineering, and math in our everyday learning. But it goes beyond just building something or, using robots. It's about encouraging collaboration, having kids look at a problem and figure out what kind of questions they could ask to solve the problem. And finding problems on their own, which is reaching out to community members, reaching out to our families. Do you have a problem that needs to be solved? Do you work at a company that you have a team working on a problem, and can we help with solutions? So it's about just, creating these students who are ready for their future, because truly at Franklin, we believe that the kids' futures are going to be in careers rooted in STEM. Are rooted in collaboration, rooted in solving problems and working with AI, and we have to prepare them for that. So I wish every school was a STEM school because we really believe it's just so important to give them these skills. But that requires us to be a little bit different than other schools. So we have a lot of problem-based learning. So we present a problem or we present an idea to students. For example, one of them is, we have this beautiful land on the back behind Franklin, and like, how can we encourage wildlife and animals? How can we attract them to this land back here? And we can, we've built a pollinator garden. Our fourth grade students worked actually with some high school students, and they've built bird houses, and they're learning about like Ohio native birds and attracting them to our area just to help that population and to learn about what it means to help our environment. So really true hands-on real world experiences. So we're not just learning through a textbook, we're not learning through, a lecture, we're actually doing something that they can see a direct impact with. We have our kindergartners using coding robots because, think about what their life is going to look like when they're, after they graduate high school or when they finish college, or whatever path they decide to take. What are their careers going to look like? Where are they going to succeed? And it's going to be in places and situations like this. So we're trying to give them the basic skills and the basic knowledge of how to excel in a STEM field. And even if it's not directly a STEM field, just learning how to work as a team, how to how to persevere through challenges, because what we talk about with our STEM is like it will never work the first time. Something will always go wrong when you're trying to figure out an experiment or trying to figure out a solution. And it will never be perfect, and there's always room for improvement. And we're teaching them these skills. We have our first and second graders are learning about research. And we always think like, yeah, everybody just go research this problem on Google, but it's who's teaching the kids how to do that? Who's teaching them what search engine to go to, what to type into the search bar? Those are all things that you have to explicitly teach for these students. So that's what STEM means at Franklin. It's teaching them the necessary skills we think that will help them succeed in the future. And to keep it, we have the state, so members from OSLN, the Ohio STEM Learning Network, they come for a site visit. They're coming, I think, in 1 year, and they kind of walk through the building, but I don't talk to them. They talk to the students and they talk to the staff, and it's up to the students and the staff to explain what's happening in our buildings, what's happening in the classrooms. But we are working so hard with our students to make sure that they know everything that they're doing is rooted in STEM. So it's a conversation that happens every single day, multiple times a day. So that's coming up, and right now we're currently just collecting evidence of our meetings, our partnerships. We have an amazing partnership with 3M. So they're our biggest partnership, and they come to our STEM meetings, and they provide us resources, and they let us know like what kind of things that they're doing at their, all their different branches and what problems they're trying to solve. And they have hands in so many things, helping the environment, helping with building projects. So they give us some questions that we can give to the kids to help with solutions. Whether they get used or not, that's not really the point. It's just showing the kids that there's real world examples out there for them to work through. So it's just exciting. Exciting to have partners. We have a partnership with the University of Akron. So we have a student teacher in every single homeroom. And that helps us just have two people in the classroom, and then create another group of educators that also get to have a STEM experience in teaching what it means to be a STEM teacher, because every teacher of ours is what we consider a STEM teacher. So they get to have that experience, and then we get some partnership with Akron, with people coming in to do field visits at our school and us visiting them as well, because they have a wealth of resources there for us. But it's exciting. I want every school to be a STEM school. I think it's so important, and I think everybody's just really proud. I think the neighborhood and the community is really proud that we're a STEM school as well. So we'll find out if we have designation in about a year and a half, whether we get to keep it or not. The rubric is totally different from when we were designated in 2019. It's a lot more rigorous. So we'll see what happens, because when we were first designated, everything was still brand new. It's a little bit more intense, and you need to be excelling in every area of the rubric. Like, there cannot be any area where you're not excelling in what you're supposed to do. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not worried.
Well, that's fantastic. There are amazing things that are happening at Franklin. I see it every time I'm in the building. All of this stuff that you're talking about and more, with the hands-on learning, the problem solving, the collaboration. it's really an outstanding thing that you and the staff and others are doing for the kids, and it's exciting to watch the kids engage in that type of learning. I remember going with Mr. Havens the first few times. If we didn't get the designation initially, the first couple times that Mr. Havens applied for it, and I remember being down there the first time. We were at one of those meetings where they called us up and we had to sit at a table down in Columbus in front of a group, and they told us what their decision was.
Yeah.
The next year we were expecting the same thing, and they literally named off who got it and who did it, or who got it in like 10 seconds. And we didn't understand what was happening, so then we weren't even sure what had actually happened. But I remember the pride of Mr. Havens and the staff when we finally did get that designation, and it was a really important thing that does not come easily, that was worked towards for a long period of time. And so I thank you and the others for all that you're doing to continue to keep us down that path, and to take the time, and on top of everything else, to go after that the redesignation and go through that process. So thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We enjoy it, so it's fun. Challenging, but fun.
That's good. So how about other initiatives? Are there other initiatives that you're working on this year at Franklin?
So one thing that we're constantly, every single year that we're working on, is just continuing to improve student reading achievement. So it's just, what are we going to do to keep growing our readers? So we've just put a lot of focus on, really explicitly teaching students reading skills. We have a brand new reading curriculum, and we're going through that with Fidelity, and we have, with the luxury of having our partnership with the University of Akron, we get a lot more, our teachers have time for more small groups than we've ever had before. And we're just really looking at our data closely this year, and just working so hard. Everybody's like a team effort to continue growing our readers. So that's always always a focus for us this year. And then something in addition to that is something we've been talking about this year is personalized learning, or we are saying at Franklin, choose your own adventure. So it's trying to figure out ways for students to show mastery in concepts that like a math concept or a writing concept, but in their own way. Like, do we need them to, fill out a 7 questions to figure out if they know this math concept, or can they create something for us, or can they, write a song or a poem or a Google presentation? Is there another way for students to show mastery? Because it just gives them a voice in their learning, it gives them ownership in their learning, and when we've seen kids kind of choose how they want to show that they understand what the teacher is trying to teach them, they're just so much more excited. The material is, the content sticking with them better, and they're just working harder at it. And they're not forgetting the material when the test is over, or that one writing prompt is over. It's something that they keep going back to. And we've just seen with this approach, and it's new and we're working towards it, not everything can be that way. But what we've seen is just so much more student engagement, more kids participating, more kids, better student achievement in those kind of projects where we have students get to choose how they show that they understand the lesson or the content. And just, and we do a lot of that so because of our STEM school, we have certain days that certain grade levels have lots of STEM-based and real-world experiences, and a lot of that is kids getting to choose how they show that they've mastered something, and in those days, hardly any kid is ever absent on those days. And then there's just so much more student engagement, and with more student engagement, there's you don't have students with there's no behavior issues that come to the office those days, because students are just so excited about their learning. So that's just something where we just want to keep focusing on and keep looking at is how can we continue increasing student engagement every single year. So
that's great.
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The University of Akron program you've referenced a couple times has been a really good program for us for all the reasons you talk about, but it's also led to a number of teachers being hired here for their first job, and some have moved up. Joe Shalala is a perfect example, came through that program, worked here for I think 9 years teaching, and now has been an administrator a couple of years. So that's such a valuable partnership,
Yeah.
and that we've forged there that you continue on with. So.
Mrs. Sunaina, one of our third grade
Yeah.
teachers, she was part of the University of Akron program, and she's teaching third grade now. So we just, it's just, you can, you know, we certain positions that come open, like we always see like our student teachers like look through it. I know we have a few of our student teachers at different buildings too, or long-term subbing, so they get a lot of opportunities back in Wadsworth.
Yeah, so. it's a great great program and forms great relationships.
It does.
It leads to good things for all involved. So, was there anything else you'd like to share with us about Franklin?
It just, you know, it just is an amazing place. Every single school in Wadsworth has its own unique thing. So I was at Isham, I was at Overlook, and I have wonderful, amazing things to say about both of those buildings. And just with Franklin, it's just unique because I just feel like our neighborhood and our school are so connected and are so close, and we just have such an amazing relationship with our families. And it's just something that makes me proud, and I hope it makes all the families proud. It's just a wonderful place to be.
Well, that's fantastic. That's great to hear. You know, and from a district perspective, we're definitely proud of all the great things happening at Franklin Elementary School. Well, Sunaina, thanks for joining us today. And our next episode of Striving to be the Best will focus on Isham Elementary School. Until that time, thank you for your continued support of our school district, Wadsworth.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.